Start with Justin Herbert. I think everyone knows he had a great week at the Senior Bowl, but the reason he didn't move up on PFF's board is because we knew he was going to have a big week at the Senior Bowl. This is where Justin Herbert would thrive, on air, against this type of competition. Yeah. He had a good week, but it was as expected, not a board mover with the week he had.
Yeah, his pluses in the draft guide heading his pluses were downfield accuracy, arm strength. Mm-hmm. He showed downfield accuracy and arm strength. It's like, oh, you can't double count it at that point. I can't be in awe.
Oh wow, I really thought that now.
Accuracy. It's like we knew that, but the things that he couldn't prove were his decision making with the football, being able to read defenses and find good opportunities with the ball down the football field, and what he does when he faces complex defenses, better defenses at the college level, in terms of just playing winning football. Mm-hmm. And that's just what's been haunting him over the course of his career. Why he's not. And the fact that he's disappeared in a lot of those games, and that was never going to happen here. They play only cover 1 and cover 3. You're not disguising any coverages. You know what's going to happen, and so I do think that he was always going to look good in the drills against air. That was always going to be if you were going to double count that. That's on you. That's just I don't think that's good process. And so he was 27th on our board before this, 27th after.
Yep. With Justin Herbert, too, we talked to Daniel Jeremiah a little bit. He came out with his latest top 50. He has Jordan Love above Justin Herbert on his latest top 50. I talked to some other guys at The Athletic. They're saying, I'd be more willing to take a flyer on Love than Herbert at this point, knowing the weaknesses you spoke to, the concerns in those big games. I know Jordan Love's still behind Justin Herbert on our latest big board, but how close are those two prospects for you? Because some see it as night and day. Others see Jordan Love kind of taking over.
I don't think it's that. I still have Herbert well above because the biggest thing for me is so Herbert had a much better offensive line, much better sort of situation around him, but I don't think the offense was a downfield passing offense. So when I say he didn't find a lot of, wasn't taking good shots down the football field, it wasn't necessarily an offense that was designed to continuously pump the ball down the football field, and I think that's what he needs. He needs, like we talked with Seth Galina about how he needs an offense that gets vertical to play to his strengths, very similar to what Ryan Tannehill sort of ran this past year with Tennessee Titans. A lot of play action. Then you got two guys you're looking at down the football field immediately. That's your first read is those guys on the football field. I think he needs more of that, less of this swing pass sort of what he ran at Oregon. So I think in that sort of offense, I can still see a path to success. Jordan Love, decision-making, can you fix that? The inconsistency, can you teach a guy to be consistent? I don't know. That's why I'm lower on Love.
All right, yeah. And Jordan Love, talk to me about his Senior Bowl performance. What did you see during the week? What did you see on air? And then also what did you see in the drills where they're going on team and stuff?
And I think it was just inconsistency again. And he had a lot of...
The accuracy on the first 2 days was rough.
Yeah, and he had the most big-time throws on the football field of anyone there. In the week of practice, he made the special throws. That's never been a concern with him, is the special throws. It's can you consistently hit the easy ones? Can you consistently not throw a ball to safety up the seam? And those things were still happening on his tape. And so he could have proven, he had more to gain in my eyes than Justin Herbert. He could have proven, hey, the situation was why I sucked this year. But, and it still was why he sucked this year, but it was some of it, and a good part of it was still on him, and it's still on him at the Senior Bowl this week.
And you speak to good process for evaluating prospects. When you highlight a concern for a quarterback or any player that goes to the Senior Bowl, and then you see it kind of exclamation point of that concern at the Senior Bowl, that's a big no-no. Maybe not necessarily a board mover. You're not going to drop him down for that, but he had an opportunity to avoid those concerns, and like you said, didn't do that. All right, let's go to Anthony Gordon. A lot of people are talking high on this kid. After a good week at the Senior Bowl, accurate with the football, decision-making showed up in the game itself. Anthony Gordon looking at this day 3 darling in the 2020 NFL draft.
I liked what I saw. I thought he moved up, not super accurate, but I think as a gamer and what he showed actually in the game was fantastic. I love his throwing mechanics. I love his quick release. I think his accuracy is good. And I think as much as he had games where it just all fell apart, he only had one season as a starter. And it kind of for Herbert, it's been multiple years of a guy falling apart. With Anthony Gordon, this was his first time he sees a real defense, and the wheels came off against Utah. But I think down the stretch he played some better football. So didn't quite make our top 100, but he'd be right outside if we did go to about 110.
I felt bad for this kid a little bit. In the interview process, every single person brought up Gardner Minshew. This guy could not avoid him. He's living in Minshew's shadow. He needs to
aren't we all living in Minshew's shadow?
We kind of are. That's a good point. Anthony Gordon, we're all one of the same here. All right, last quarterback we want to touch on a little bit. Jalen Hurd had a big following down there in Mobile. A lot of praise. He wore the 2-sided helmet, whatever it was. However, I didn't necessarily think he had a good week. I mean, there were times where he missed throws. I mean, it was on the Jordan Love levels of inaccuracy on some days.
Yeah.
I mean, again, a lot of the concerns that we saw going into this week.
Just all over the place down the football field. And you can't, as much as we've said, hey, he has past success in the NFL. Run heavy, basically the Tyrod Taylor blueprint with Buffalo. Use him in the option game. Use a lot of play action. Get him going down the field where he makes good decisions in terms of not putting the ball in harm's way down the field, but his accuracy down the field is a big concern. And it still was in this. He would just go balls 5 yards to the sideline and 5 yards too deep. Like, they were just all over the place in terms of where that ball was going. And so that's going, like I said, that's going to be his offense. He's going to have to be able to attack down the football field. Those play action, those run heavy looks will suck people up. You have to be able to take advantage over the top to beat that. I don't think he's even on Tyrod Taylor's level in terms of accuracy down the field at this point.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.